Wow, well, a crazy energy shift. I have been so tired today. Like, I woke up tired. The vivid dreams have been crazy. I've been feeling this energy shift taking place. I've been quantum leaping, jumping timelines, and I woke up tired but can't sleep. I went home, I tried a nap, and the channeled messages just don't stop. My head hurts, my crown chakra is activated. I have had a lot of throat chakra blockages, especially when I'm channeling the divine masculine energy. My throat blocks up. So there's a bit of a communication block that is being worked through with the masculines at the minute. The weather just suddenly started raining here out of nowhere. Sirens, so many sirens. I've never seen so many sirens. They're just like everywhere. Fire trucks, ambulance. Like, I've seen at least 10 today alone, and I've hardly been out. I feel like my appetite has changed, and a lot of reminiscing. And then I'll get all these messages, but it's almost like something doesn't want me to share it, because I feel like the channeled messages that are coming through, they come through clear, and then it's almost like I can't relay the energy, or I get like this brain fog, and I can feel the energy, and to myself I know what it is. When I'm explaining it to someone in person, it comes through clearly, but when I'm trying to post it and share it, it's almost like there's a hit and miss. Something gets lost in translation a little bit. But as I was driving, there was a lot of channel downloads coming through, a lot of memories popping up, and one thing in particular, which is why I'm posting this, because I had this push to post and just make some of you divine feminines aware that are on a twin flame journey on something that not a lot of people do speak about, and it is when the divine masculine starts awakening. And we all know that they come back and they go in and they go out, and they kind of test where we're at energetically. This is unconscious. Usually they don't know that they're doing it. I'm sure some do. But for my own personal experience, the last time I saw my DM, when he came in, it was the strangest thing. When I was speaking to him, the things he was saying, he sounded more like me and less like him. And he was very enlightened in the way he spoke. And I thought that I had done enough work. I had got to that point where I wasn't reaching out anymore. I had stepped into my purpose. I had done a massive amount of healing on my shadows, my core wounds. I had come to an understanding of my mindset, my behaviors, my traumas, his behaviors, his traumas. I had learned boundaries. And it wasn't until just now, like now I'm looking back, it's almost like every time I thought I was ready and I thought that I was there, he would come in and I would feel him coming in. And now I'm looking back and I was like, I wasn't ready, even though I thought I was, because after he left that last time, I really did the work. I really completely went into this full surrender. I let go. I really reflected. And the version I am now I am truly in my divine feminine energy. Whereas before, I was 90% there, I would say, maybe a little less even, but I was doing the things. I stopped repeating the patterns, and then I had another karmic come in, who was also a divine masculine, but in his distorted energy, to replay the role of my DM and mirror back the same cycles of toxic behaviors that I'd previously accepted from my DM, to see how I would move. And there was triggers for sure. I didn't understand why I was triggered. There was a past life connection with this person, and there was that soul pull, the soul tie, because we had known each other in past lives. I recognized him, he recognized me. There was that soul knowing on both parts. He was slightly less spiritual. I held back. I didn't say anything. I was waiting to see how he showed up before I gave him any energy. And then I cut ties because I'd learnt the lessons. And even though I had cut ties, the energy lingered for quite some time, until I got to a point where I had really stepped into my divine feminine energy, and eventually that energy just subsided. The more I came home to myself, and before I had this real judgment that he wasn't where I would have liked him to be, and I knew, like, logically I knew, I was like, this man doesn't owe me anything. But emotionally and energetically, I was pissed. I was so disappointed. And it was almost like the cycle continued after my DM went away. But going back to the last time I saw my DM, when he came in, he was so enlightened, the way he spoke. And I remember thinking that he was so different that I wasn't sure if I could see myself with him. I wasn't sure if I liked it. I liked that he was awake. I liked that he had done the healing work. I liked that he had grown and ascended. But it was as confronting as the first time we met, where I felt like confronted with my own energy. He was so much like me, the way he spoke, but he wasn't like himself. Like, I felt like I sort of had to grieve the old version of him. And now I'm looking back and it's like I have this clarity, because as I was thinking that, as a divine feminine, our manifestation powers are so strong, and our mindset is so strong that it creates our reality. And when he came in, he was beautiful. He was in this energy that mirrored mine. But even me thinking, I'm not sure, and I was listening and I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it was like suddenly something flipped, and he went back to that toxic, distorted masculine. All those traits, the things that came out of his mouth, I was shocked. It was like those doubts, those fears just came back again. And he wasn't who I needed him to be. And now I'm looking back, I wasn't embodying that divine feminine energy that I'm in now, the one that could hold space for him in his divine masculine energy, which is why he reverted back, which is why he came in and then left again. And he knew, like he told me, I'm asking too much of you. And I sat with it. I knew he was asking too much of me. It wasn't someone I wanted to be with, but I didn't want to lose him. wanted to compromise and meet him halfway to see if there was a way we could work together. And he didn't allow me to. And I'm so grateful for that. But now, as I said, I'm looking back and I was like, now I could hold that. Now I can face myself, because I really went back and I did the inner work, and it happens gradually. It wasn't intentional work I did, but I could accept that version back. Sorry, life got in the way there. So I'm just finishing off this video. The moral of the story and the point I was trying to make is that the divine feminine needs to fully embody her divine energy. She needs to be standing in and anchored in her divine feminine energy, her authenticity, completely, before the divine masculine can come in and ground in his divine masculine energy. If she cannot hold his frequency as a divine masculine, because there's still aspects of her shadows, like her ego, if she's still leading from her mind and has that little bit of control, like I did. I wanted to control a narrative. I had this mask on that I wasn't even aware that I had. I was too busy looking at his. And I had these walls up, and this self-preservation. So he mirrored that back. It's like unknowingly I had to have things a certain way, my way, in order to feel safe. It's like I learnt the lessons, I learnt the boundaries, I could see where things went wrong. And I was so focused on things having to be a certain way before allowing him in. And I kept looking at how he had to change, who I expected him to be in order for me to receive him. And energetically, I couldn't receive him. He couldn't hold his divine masculine frequency because I was still living from a distorted divine feminine template. I was still in my head. I was allowing my mind and my ego to dictate how I received him, how things went, how I showed up. And now I am completely in my divine feminine energy and I can receive that. I still liked and was attracted to the distorted version of him, certain parts, the version of him that I knew. And until we completely release that, because once you're both healed, especially once you're healed as a divine feminine, your masculine's not going to show up as the version that walked away, that you let go of. They're going to show up as a completely different person. And I wasn't prepared for that, because only now I see that I wasn't even completely anchored in my energy, in who I am. And I wasn't sitting in a divine feminine, a completely healed divine feminine energy. So how could I receive my masculine? And now, when there's just something that shifts, we don't try to do it. The more you sit in your authenticity, it's just something that just happens. And when you are, and you're embodying your true self, your most authentic self, you've worked through those shadows, you've healed those wounds, you know who you are, you're on purpose, and your focus has shifted from how you need things to be, how you need people to show up. Your only concern is how you show up. That's when that something just shifts in you. The way he showed up then with that enlightened, divine, masculine energy that I saw a glimpse of, I couldn't receive it back then. It was strange to me. I was still holding on to the old version of him. Now, this version of me, that divine masculine energy that he showed me, it matches, it aligns with where I am, my frequency. And that's exactly what I want. I don't want anything less than that. So just be mindful. Don't rush the process. Keep coming back to you. Keep working on you. Just step by step, day by day. Step into your authenticity. Step into that divine purpose. Be yourself. Be honest with yourself. Address your ego. Address your shadows. Don't allow your mind to control every aspect, because that means there's more work to be done. When you start leading from your soul and it's intuitive and you're not thinking about protecting yourself because you're seeing things from a higher perspective, that's when you're ready. That's when you anchor that energy in, and that's when he returns and you can hold that frequency. And when you do, he holds his.